Hey guys, I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber. And today I'm talking to you about what plumbers don't like to tell homeowners. Now, this goes for most plumbers because I really think most plumbers are honest. Most plumbers try to do the right thing for people. And most plumbers really want to take care of their customers. So when I start off, remember that I'm saying most plumbers. So one of the big things most plumbers hate telling their customers is the cost of a job is very expensive. At Texas Green Plumbing, we specialize in slab leaks and leak detection in the Dallas area and the Richardson area. If you Google Richardson Plumbing Company, we come up pretty high. So we tend to get a lot of calls for slab leaks and leak detection. Now, same thing for Dallas Plumbing Company or Plano Plumbing Company, but Richardson is where we're at. So that's kind of a popular area for us. One thing that we hate telling people, and we get calls a lot to go out and do a sewer leak, a water leak test, sewer leak test, water leak test. And unfortunately, those lead to slab leaks, or people are checking those because they think they have a slab leak. So one thing plumbers really hate telling them is that the cost of a job is very expensive. Now, it's not very expensive to do the test, and it's a test that I highly recommend in certain times. But once you do that test, if you determine that there's a leak on either the water system or the sewer system, then that can be expensive just locating it. You're looking at least a couple of hours to locate a water leak. You're looking at probably most of a day to locate a sewer leak. The reason being is that we have to isolate the leak under the house. We have to stick test balls and cameras and long hoses in. We have to get in, block off different areas just to find out, like if a branch line comes in and turns, we have to block off that area to determine if that particular branch line is good or not. And we've got to do that on every branch line in your house. So sometimes what we have to do is run a camera through first, find out where everything is, then come back, isolate different areas. And depending on if you have, wall cleanouts, if you have cleanouts under, say, a kitchen sink, if you have a two-way cleanout out front, a two-way cleanout out front is mandatory. So cost of a very expensive job, that is something we hate breaking to customers. They know they've got a problem, but when we have to break it down and tell them how expensive that problem is going to be, that's one thing that most plumbers hate telling their customers. Another thing that we hate telling customers is that another plumber screwed them over. And guys, I hate to say it, but that happens very often. We have literally had calls here where a plumber came up to a house. The lady knew she had a gas leak in her attic. The guy's there less than 5 minutes, says he did a test on the outside line. She's got a leak underground. It's going to be $10,000 just to turn her gas back on. And she can call him when she'd like to do that. Problem is, she called us. We went out, we did a test. She did not have a leak underground like he said. What she had is she had two little leaks up in her attic, which is what the HVAC guy had told her. We were able to fix those. It took about 3 hours, and we had to get some parts and redo some things. But under $900, or right about $900, she was fixed, had her gas back on that day. Once somebody does a gas line relay, you're going to end up having to come in and get a permit, get an inspection. It's going to cost quite a bit of money. He was a little high in his $10,000, but if that would have been a real thing, that would have been true. But what if he had done that job? Or maybe worse than that, what if he had told her he did that job and he really didn't? He just went out, roughed up the dirt, made it look like he trenched it. I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing, but I'm telling you, guys, we've gone in and we've ran cameras under houses where people are like, hey, look, we've replaced the entire sewer line under the house. And they really hadn't. The plumber had just done spot repairs, tunnel under, and did two or three little feet here and there. And guys, when you're telling somebody you're going to give them a complete new sewer under the house, customers should come to expect that. To be honest, I would think that I would ask my plumbers, I want to see pictures. I want to see a drawing. I want to know it's done right. And when plumbers are under your house working on a sewer and water, Make them get that work inspected. Make them get a permit. Guys, at that point, you're covering yourself. You are asking the city that you live in, you're asking that plumbing inspector come out and be basically a third-party verification for you. That way, you know, whatever that plumber did, he did right. And you can also talk to the plumbing inspector and say, by the way, they told me they were replacing the entire sewer under the house. Is that what happened? Luckily, I live in Texas, and the Texas State Board of Examiners is pretty strict about once people file a complaint, they're pretty good at enforcing it. And guys, if you think that you've got a plumber that did you wrong, this is something that I recommend. And anytime that we go out on a job, if they can pull up a receipt and show, hey, we paid a plumbing company to do all this and they didn't, I will give them video proof proving that what they were charged for was not done. And I even tell them how to get in touch with the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners and what legal action they have against that plumbing company. Now, one that I don't have listed in the blog, but guys, this is another really big one to me. I hate telling a family, a homeowner, whoever, that their real estate agent knew better. And I say this because we highly recommend to every real estate agent we meet that if you represent a buyer on a new house, have them do a sewer and water test. It's not very hard to do. It's not very expensive to do. We've gone into houses here in Richardson. We've gone in to do a sewer and water test in Richardson and literally determine that the entire sewer line needed to be replaced. Upon talking to the homeowner further, they had only been in the house for 3 months. I asked them, did your real estate agent recommend a sewer and water test? And she said, no. I said, okay, are you aware? I mean, we have these problems a lot in the North Texas area. The ground swells, the ground dries up, it shifts, sewer lines break, water lines break, foundations break. Did your real estate agent talk to you about this at all? And she says, no. She says, we're from California. This poor family bought a house for about, I think it was $330,000. They ended up having to spend $60,000 replacing the entire sewer line under their house and the yard service. Guys, if you're a real estate agent and you're hearing this, I recommend you put it in an email to every buyer you have and say, look, this is just something that we recommend. Guys, I don't even care if I do it for you. I just want you to take care of your customers because that is a huge thing. So what plumbers don't like to tell homeowners, we don't like to tell them the cost of a job is very expensive. We don't like to tell them that another plumber screwed them over. And we don't like to tell them that their real estate agent knew better. Guys, if you like these videos that we're putting out, please click on the subscribe button, share it with your friends, leave us comments. If there's anything that you want to know about that we hadn't talked about, put it in the comments here, send me an email, go to my website, click on the page, get a message to me. We want to give you the information that you're looking for. So please help us out. My name is Roger Wakefield from Texas Green Plumbing, saving you money one drop at a time.